And he scores. Oh.
Good morning everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. It is Saturday the 18th of October 2025. It is currently 25 to 7 in the morning and today we are making a trip to Northamptonshire for Brackley Town versus Gateshead in the National League, and having to take a bit of an unorthodox route today because there is industrial action from cross country, which means there's a lot of spanners in the works. In the usual route you'd probably take to Brackley, which is via the West Midlands to Banbury, then get a bus across. So instead we're having to do it via London, across to Marylebone, then up to Bicester, then get a bus to Brackley from there. But without further ado, let's get into this. It's going to be a long day, but hopefully a good result to make it all worth it.
Switch it up!
So I'm in Brackley, and going into this afternoon's game, Brackley are in 16th place in the National League table. This is of course their first ever season at this level after quite a lot of failed attempts at getting out of the National League North in the playoffs, but they did go up as champions and holding their own so far, you'd have to say. Again, they're making St James Park a very difficult ground for anyone to go to. In fact, all of their wins so far this season have been on their own ground, and they'll be full of confidence coming to this. Obviously in midweek they had an FA Cup replay against Woking in which they ran out 6-2 winners, so there's a bit of a narrative around Brackley that they're the sort of team that don't score many but don't concede many, and the reason for that success is based more so around their defence than their attack. But that game the other night obviously went a little bit against the narrative, and we're coming into this game in 14th place in the National League table. Obviously last weekend we didn't see the header, but we did pick up a 3-0 win down at Aveley in the FA Cup, which set up a first round tie against AFC Wimbledon, which again I'm not going to be able to go to because Motherwell are playing in the semi-final of the Scottish League Cup at Hampden that day, and they'd already had a plan in place for that, which I knew was always going to be the case long before it came to this. But a chance to get back on track in the league after what was a really disappointing day a couple of weeks ago against Boston United, although we were definitely down to the bare bones in that game. Thankfully the picture is a little bit different today. It seems as though one or two slowly but surely coming back from injury. Since that game, 2 players have come through the door. We've had Cian Pennon, a forward who's arrived on loan from Leicester until I think just after the Boreham Wood game next month, and Ibrahim Bakare, who's arrived on loan from Cheltenham Town, a centre half. he's here on loan until January. Going in the opposite direction has been Max Sheaf. He parted ways with the club this week, has since signed for Hensford Town. One of them, it just didn't really work out for him. You could see that he always put the effort in, but it just wasn't really clicking to him. No hard feelings. Very best luck going forward. But as we said, it's going to be a tough game for us this afternoon. But looking at this game and what we've got coming up next week, obviously against Truro at home, I would probably gladly take 4 points from the 2 games. If we can get a point down here today, I'd be okay with that. And then obviously next week it's important to get a good result at home for once. But as we've said a few times, we've seemed to have saved our best stuff for the road, and we're going to need to be at our best today, because Brackley, as we all know, certainly aren't going to be any pushovers. They've already had a couple of eye-opening results. I think the most notable one was when Rochdale came down here and were beaten. So as we said, for all they are a part-time side, as we saw when we played against them in the National League North days, they do have a lot of athleticism. So yeah, I'm not taking that whole part-time versus full-time thing for granted. You never should against Brackley, because the fitness levels and the quality that they do show is definitely resembling of a full-time team. But if we can get a decent result out of this game today, then it puts us in good stead, especially with quite a few players coming back. And touch wood, we won't have anywhere near as many anywhere near as big an injury list going forward. But anyway, let's head down to St James Park and find out how it all unfolds. I can say whatever I like about Brackley. Obviously, I know we're in a title race with them a few years ago, which maybe created a little bit of beef between the 2 clubs, but that burger and that programme, yeah, honestly, fair play Brackley, absolutely brilliant on both counts. So the teams are warming up. Brackley are getting ready, and this is going to be in red and white this afternoon, and Gateshead are getting ready just here. We are going to be in our blue and claret away strip. Anyway, I will see you when the players are coming out of the tunnel and ready to start the match.
Well, very good afternoon now at St James Park, and please welcome the 2 teams from the South Wales Enterprise National League fixture, Gateshead and Brackley Town FC!
Gateshead! Gateshead! Gateshead!
Get it in the box. Go on, Steve. He's gonna go.
Get in! Come on! And he scores.
What a go on! Oh!
Come on then!
Oh, hit his old man. Hit his old man.
It's half time.
So to take a look at some of the half times around the Enterprise National League shortly. In the meantime,
Half time, Brackley 0, Gateshead 0. It's been quite boring, I must say. Brackley obviously had the player sent off early on in the game for being the last man, but if anything, that's obviously made them sit in quite a bit more. Over the last few years have been renowned for their good defensive records, and we've just found it really, really difficult to break that down, but there's been a lot of sideways and backwards passing from us, and if anything, you have to say that Brackley have probably been the ones that have had the better of the chances up to now. But you look at our bench, there is a lot of quality on there. I don't know if the game plan, now that they're down to 10 men, is to just try and wear them down a little bit, tire them out, then kind of pick our moments from there. But I must be honest, the referee's not really allowing the game a great deal of flow either, so it's a bit of a difficult game to get into, I'm not going to lie. I've certainly seen more entertaining games, it has to be said, but hopefully we can make the extra player advantage count in the second half.
Five of you now.
Go on. Oh! Best effort we've had so far.
Back post. Good shit, sir.
Go on! It's free kick, is it? Yeah, free kick. Oh! Oh! Oh!
Go on! Go on!
Oh!
Go up! Go up!
Oh!
We're Gateshead! We're Gateshead! We're Gateshead!
Go on, Max.
Back in. Shoot! Dig it! Shoot!
Oh! 5 minutes of added time, 5 minutes.
The fourth official has indicated there'll be a minimum of 5 minutes added time at the end of the second half.
Hit it! In the box, one.
Desperate. Well, just take a chance, man.
Come on!
Stop knocking. Just. That's the last chance of the game. Hit it! That was the chance.
Thank you very much for your support this afternoon, and we wish you all a very safe journey home. Don't forget, of course, National League Cup action on Tuesday night, Everton under 21s, they're the visitors, 7:45 kick-off. In the meantime, thank you once more. We wish you a very safe journey home. Have a fantastic weekend.
Full-time Brackley Town 0, Gateshead 0. Before the game, you'd have probably taken that result. It's not an easy place to go to. I think there's still quite a few teams that are going to come unstuck there this season, but I think in the circumstances of playing against 10 men for basically the full game, you can't help but feel at least a hint of disappointment. I think when it came to the moments that mattered, getting forward into the final third, I thought our play was just a little bit too slow today. I think to some degree we've played right into Brackley's hands. We know that they're quite a defensive side, but they are very, very well organised, and they have been for quite a good number of years now. And I feel as though we kind of like fell into their trap a little bit today, I must say. But I think in the second half we did try to up the tempo a little bit more. There were a few more chances that came our way, but we just ultimately in the end couldn't break down what was a pretty stern Brackley backline. But I think one positive from us today is there is a clean sheet on the board in all competitions. That is 2 in a row, and we've never really looked like conceding today. It's got to be said. I know Brackley had a few chances, a few decent ones at that, but they weren't as a result of our cock-ups at the back or anything like that. It was just a case of a decent play from them, them taking a couple of shots on when maybe we didn't expect them to, but all the same, I thought defensively from us today, it was definitely better, put it that way. I think Ibrahim Bakari, I think he had a really, really solid game. The sort of defender that you maybe need, just a wise head on a broad pair of shoulders. Didn't really try anything stupid or anything like that. We looked more assured at the back, put it that way. But it's just really, really annoying. We had all that quality on the bench here. We brought Kenton Richardson on then within 10-15 minutes of him coming on, he was having to be subbed off again, which I hope doesn't result in an even longer injury layoff for him. But I think, as we say, slowly but surely we are getting there in terms of numbers coming back. Dom Telford's come back into the side, Max Melbourne's come back into the side. Hopefully Kane and Dom's not a million miles off either. Terrell Newton's had quite a long injury layoff. It'll be interesting to see just how far away he is. But as we said, maybe by the end of the season, this we'll look back on this, and it might not be as bad a result as it maybe feels at this moment in time, because it is away from home against a side that realistically we're going to be around in the table. I think based on that today, that looked like two sides that are pretty destined for the kind of positions that they are in the table at this moment in time. I think there's worse teams in the league than both Brackley and Gateshead, don't get me wrong, but I think all in all it was a pretty dull game of football, let's put it that way, and the final score does reflect that. But I think at this moment in time you would have to say that Brackley, in the circumstances, are probably happier with the result than we are. I think before the game we'd have been happier with that result than what they would, but it is what it is. It's frustrating. There is positives, don't get me wrong, but now we move on to Truro at home next week, which is a massive game. It's just our bloody luck, isn't it, that they'd get a last minute winner today, which could be something that will kickstart the season and really get their confidence going. But we need a good performance at home. Let's just put it that way. I've said it over and over again that the home form's been nowhere near good enough, and I think next week has to be the start of us turning the tide on that a little bit. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back on Tuesday night with a massive game from the National League North. But I've got to say I'm really looking forward to it. It is South Shields versus Scarborough Athletic. So until then, take care, cheers for watching. See you later.